He bankrolled Camelot and courted scandal. Accused of bootlegging, tied to the mob, and marked by the decision to approve his daughter's lobotomy. Or a loving father and shrewd strategist shaped by his era. Let's stress test the legends with these surprising facts. Number 1. Bootlegging. Myth or money-making masterstroke? One of the most persistent legends is that Joseph Kennedy Sr. built his fortune as a bootlegger during Prohibition, running illegal liquor with mob partners. It's a tantalizing tale, but evidence says otherwise. According to historian David Nassau, Kennedy tracked down every rumor of bootlegging and none of them panned out, calling the stories just farcical. In fact, when Richard Nixon's team dug up dirt on the Kennedys in 1960, they unearthed plenty of scandal. Except any proof of bootlegging, Joe Kennedy did make millions from alcohol, but legally, as Prohibition neared its end in 1933, he struck exclusive deals to import British whiskey and gin, like Dewars and Gordon's, then cashed in big when America went wet again. Even the FBI cleared him for top government posts, finding no rum-running past. So, was the bootlegger story simply a smear concocted by rivals, while the truth is that Kennedy was just a shrewd legal businessman, bootlegger, or brilliant opportunist? What do you think? Number 2. The secret lobotomy of Rosemary Kennedy. Perhaps the darkest chapter of Joe Kennedy's life is the tragic tale of his daughter, Rosemary. In 1941, 23-year-old Rosemary underwent a frontal lobotomy, a then-experimental brain surgery intended to control her wild mood swings. Shockingly, it was Joseph Sr. himself who authorized the procedure after doctors suggested it might calm her violent outbursts. He didn't even inform his wife, Rose, until after their daughter had been forever altered. The result was catastrophic. Rosemary emerged with the mental capacity of a toddler, unable to speak or walk properly. Joe promptly institutionalized her in a care facility and concealed her fate from the rest of the family for decades. They were told Rosemary was teaching in the Midwest. At the time, lobotomy was hailed by some as cutting-edge treatment, so perhaps Joe genuinely hoped to help his troubled daughter. But many believe he was equally motivated by fear that Rosemary's disabilities and occasional erratic behavior would embarrass the family and derail his son's political futures. Was this drastic act a misguided attempt at a cure, or a cruel measure to save the family's reputation at Rosemary's expense? Desperate father or heartless patriarch, how do you judge Joseph Kennedy's decision? Number 3. Mob money and the 1960 election. Deal with the devil. Joseph Kennedy Sr. was determined to see his son, John F. Kennedy, win the presidency in 1960. And according to persistent rumors, he didn't mind calling in some dark favors to do it. The most infamous story alleges that Joe enlisted singer Frank Sinatra to act as a go-between with mafia boss Sam Giancana. In early 1960, as JFK battled in the critical West Virginia primary, Sinatra, a family friend, approached Giancana at Joe's request. The deal: the mob would use its influence with unions and local political machines to deliver votes for Kennedy. Giancana allegedly agreed and helped JFK win West Virginia, a victory that proved JFK, a Catholic, could win Protestant voters, propelling him toward the Democratic nomination. But this Faustian bargain had consequences. When JFK became a president and his brother Robert, as Attorney General, cracked down on organized crime, Giancana felt betrayed, reportedly growling that Joe Kennedy owed him for the help. Sinatra later confessed he repaid the debt by performing free shows for Giancana. To this day, historians debate how true these claims are. Was it a mafia alliance or just overblown gossip? Joe certainly poured money into JFK's campaign and pulled every string he could, legal or not, to ensure victory. Did the Kennedy patriarch really cut a deal with the mob to put Jack in the White House? Sound off in the comments, scandalous truth or political myth. Number 4. Beating Wall Street. The Shoeshine Boy and the Crash. Long before his sons entered politics, Joe Kennedy proved himself eerily savvy, even ruthless, on Wall Street. He played the 1920s stock market like a fiddle, exploiting then-legal tricks like insider trading and market manipulation to amass a fortune. In 1929, as speculation reached a fever pitch, Kennedy famously got a stock tip from a shoeshine boy. According to legend, This humble encounter convinced him the market was a bubble. If Shoeshine boys are giving stock tips, it's time to get out, he thought. True or not, Kennedy did act before the crash. He quietly sold off most of his stock holdings ahead of Black Tuesday and even short-sold stocks, betting they'd plunge. When the Great Depression struck and others were ruined, Joe Kennedy emerged richer than ever. The man who had helped inflate the bubble escaped its burst unscathed, even profiting from it. This notoriety led President Franklin D. Roosevelt to quip, "It takes a thief to catch a thief," appointing Kennedy as the first chairman of the SEC in 1934 to police Wall Street's excesses. Joe's uncanny timing, or insider knowledge, in 1929 became part of Kennedy lore. Whether the Shoeshine Boy story actually happened or was later mythologized, it captures Kennedy's razor-sharp instinct for money. He knew when to cash out and run, leaving others holding the bag. Not exactly heroic, but undeniably shrewd. Number 5. Hollywood Empire and a Scandalous Affair with Gloria Swanson. In the late 1920s, Joseph Kennedy Sr. swaggered into Hollywood and made a killing, but also sparked scandal. Sensing the film industry's profit potential, he bought and merged movie studios to form RKO Pictures, flipping assets and profiteering $5 million, over $90 million today, in just a few years. During this Hollywood sojourn, Joe embarked on a very public affair with Gloria Swanson, one of the era's biggest movie stars. Though married to Rose Kennedy with a growing brood of children, Joe spent 3 years as Swanson's lover and business partner. He financed her film projects and managed her finances, often to his own advantage. Swanson later discovered that an expensive gift Joe had given her was charged to her own account. In other words, the millionaire was billing the actress for her own present, a revelation that ended their affair in 1930 amid bitterness. Swanson's memoirs painted Joe as an unscrupulous womanizer who seduced her for glamour and profit. Indeed, by the time he left Tinseltown, Kennedy had not only broken a movie queen's heart, but also cemented a reputation as one of the only outsiders ever to fleece Hollywood for millions. The Swanson saga showed Joe's pattern of mixing business with pleasure and getting the better end of both. Rose Kennedy, devoutly Catholic, stoically endured his dalliances. Divorce was unthinkable, but the Hollywood affair became one of the Kennedy family's most whispered about scandals. Number 6. The Pantages Rape Case, Dirty Trick or Urban Legend. Joe Kennedy's hardball tactics in Hollywood may have gone even further than bad breakups. In 1929, he was keen to acquire the Pantages theater chain, a lucrative string of vaudeville and movie theaters, and he wasn't taking no for an answer. Alexander Pantages, the Greek-American theater magnate, had rebuffed Kennedy's $8 million buyout offer. Then, fate intervened. Pantages was accused of rape by a young dancer in a sensational trial that ruined his reputation. With his business in peril, Pantages caved and sold his theaters to Kennedy in 1930 for a mere $3.5 million, a steal of a deal for Joe. Suspiciously, Pantages was later acquitted on appeal, and rumors swirled that the rape charge had been a frame-up engineered by Joseph Kennedy to force his rival to sell cheap. Decades later, it was even said the accuser confessed on her deathbed that Kennedy's associates had put her up to it. A Hollywood conspiracy worthy of a film noir, except there's no proof. In fact, the woman's daughter refuted the alleged confession as bogus, and historians largely debunk the idea that Kennedy framed Pantages. Still, the timing was striking, and the incident bolstered Joe's ruthless image. Whoa, true or not, the Pantages affair remains an intriguing what-if. How far would Joseph Kennedy go for a business victory? In this case, what's clear is that he walked away with the theater empire at a bargain, while a competitor's career lay in tatters. Number 7. Ambassador of Appeasement, Democracy is Finished. Appointed U.S. Ambassador to Great Britain in 1938, Joseph P. Kennedy Sr. quickly courted controversy. Convinced Britain couldn't beat Hitler and that America must stay out, he told a reporter during the Blitz in November 1940, "Democracy is finished in England. It may be here in the U.S." The remark outraged Churchill and FDR. Kennedy was recalled and soon resigned. Reports also held that he urged Hollywood, run by many Jewish moguls, to avoid anti-Nazi films to not provoke Germany. Captured Nazi diplomatic records later quoted Kennedy as saying he understood their Jewish policy completely, even noting exclusions of Jews in Boston's elite clubs, comments widely denounced as anti-Semitic. Whether born of prejudice or misguided peace at any price, the stance was a PR disaster. By late 1940, Kennedy's public career was effectively over, an isolationist on the wrong side of history. Number 8. The Kingmaker. Ambition recast as a family project. After London, Kennedy concluded he was a liability and redirected ambition to his sons. He primed Joseph Jr. to be the first Catholic president. After Joe Jr.'s death in 1944, he shifted to John F. Kennedy. Kennedy financed campaigns, leveraged connections, and shaped the family brand, while keeping himself mostly in the shadows to avoid harming their chances. In 1945, he bought Chicago's Merchandise Mart, then the world's largest building, a power base in Pivotal, Illinois. At home, he was a relentless taskmaster, drilling the mantra of winning. The machine worked. By 1960, JFK captured the presidency, fulfilling the patriarch's decades-long plan, with Joe Sr. achieving power vicariously through his children. Number 9. The Silent End. Stroke, losses, and final ledger. In December 1961, Joseph P. Kennedy Sr. suffered a massive stroke that left him partly paralyzed and largely speechless. He watched, unable to intervene, as JFK was assassinated in 1963 and Robert Kennedy in 1968. The patriarch outlived 4 of his 9 children and died in 1969 at age 81. Contemporary estimates put his estate at roughly $500 million. Immense wealth, little solace. A power broker turned silent witness, he closed his life as the architect of a dynasty and the custodian of its deepest tragedies.